the clock. With us, every second and minute counts. When it comes to bringing you the best of programming on radio, Diamond 88.7 FM remains your best bet. Be it sports, talk radio, entertainment and music. One thing is certain, we've got you.
You can only get timely, credible, and reliable news on your shining supreme station. Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
From the news desk of Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin, this is news around the world.
In the headlines, President Tinubu inaugurates EFCC office in Ekiti. Senate to consider single term for president, governors after 2027 polls. House of Representatives summoned service chiefs, finance minister, others over insecurity. On the foreign scene, Israeli airstrike hits Lebanese city of Tyre. In business news, Senate passes crypto regulation bill. In entertainment news, singer Peter Okoye slam fan urging his retirement over age. And from the world of sport, top African referee Omar Atan speaks out after FIFA World Cup exclusion. Good evening and many thanks for joining us for news across the world on Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. I am Omonike Babatunde. You can listen to us via our website at www.diamondfm.net or just live on Facebook at Diamond 887 FM, on YouTube, Diamond FM Ilorin. You can also download the app on Play Store, Diamond 887 FM. We'll bring you details of the news after this break. Let's go away, please.
No vote buying. You're sure of that?
We are sure.
Everybody is sure of that.
Voting during elections affects your life and generations after you. Say no to vote buying, election violence, voter inducement, thuggery, do or die politics. You only have one vote. Use it well.
This message is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin.
You're welcome back from that short break, and now the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has inaugurated the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission's Ekiti Zonal Directorate Office, reaffirming his administration's commitment to strengthening anti-corruption institutions and promoting transparency in public service. Tinubu described corruption as one of the biggest obstacles to the Nigerian development, stressing that the nation's progress depends largely on the integrity of its public institutions and governance systems. The president, who was represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, noted that the fight against corruption must be sustained through strong institutions, adequate resources, and conducive working environment for law enforcement agencies. The president commended the EFCC chairman Ola Olukoyede for his leadership and dedication to the anti-corruption campaign, describing the agency's recent achievement as evidence of its growing effectiveness. Senate leader Okpeyemi Bamidele has proposed a constitutional amendment to introduce single 6-year tenure for Nigeria's president and state governors, arguing that the current two-term structure often distracts elected leaders from governance. Speaking while reflecting on legislative reforms and the future of Nigeria's democracy, Bamidele said one of the bills he hoped to sponsor in the 11th Senate would seek to limit president and governors to a single 6-year term in office. According to him, the proposal will enable elected leaders to focus fully on governance rather than spending a significant portion of their first term preparing and campaigning for re-election. Bamidele argued that under the current arrangement, many office holders begin thinking about their second-term ambition shortly after assuming office, a development he believes affects policy implementation and long-term planning. The House of Representatives has passed a resolution to summon the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, Service Chiefs, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Tunji Disu, and the Director General of the State Security Service, DSS, Adeola Ajayi, to appear before it to outline details of funds released to the security agencies in the last 6 months. Others invited include the Minister of Finance, Taiwo Oyedele, and the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, Mohammed. The Green Chamber also urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to direct the recruitment of forest guards in all the states experiencing any form of insecurity, as it did in Oyo State. Today's resolution followed motions of insecurity received in the House. The resolutions came amid rising insecurity in several parts of the country. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called on women in the judiciary across Africa to continue playing a leading role in strengthening transparent and accountable judicial systems. Speaking today at the opening ceremony of the International Association of Women Judges, RAWJ, African Regional Conference in Abuja, the First Lady said the judiciary remains the institution where justice and fairness are upheld and where the rights of citizens are protected. She noted that the growing presence of women on the bench has enriched the administration of justice by bringing broader perspectives and deep understanding to judicial decision-making. The First Lady praised women judges across the continent for overcoming long-standing barriers and creating opportunities for future generations of women in the legal profession. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Disu, has ordered enforcement actions against vehicles without plate numbers. Same goes for those with altered or covered number plate. Also, Disu ordered the deployment of Deputy Inspector Generals of Police DIGs to all 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Disu issued the directive today during the monthly strategic conference with senior police officers at the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan Peacekeeping Center Force Headquarters, Abuja. According to the IGP, the deployment of the IGs will take effect from June 15 and is aimed at improving supervision, operational coordination, and accountability across all policing formations nationwide. He said the reform is intended to bring strategic leadership closer to field operations and improve rapid response to emerging threats. The IGP also directed an immediate nationwide enforcement operation against vehicles operating without registration plate or with concealed, defaced, or altered number plate, warning that such practices will no longer be tolerated. The news across the world is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 of FM Ilorin. We'll go on a break now, and when we return, we'll bring you foreign, business, entertainment, and sport news. Do stay with us.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 887 FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
You're welcome back from that short break. You're still listening to news across the world, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 of Farm Ilori. And now we'll move away from the local stories to the foreign stories. And on the foreign scene, the Israeli military has carried out strikes in the southern Lebanese city of Tyre a day after Iran called for attacks on Lebanon to stop. Lebanese media reported that at least 8 people have been killed by Israeli strikes in the country's south today. Earlier, Iran and Israel said they would pause strike after both sides breached a ceasefire. Israel says it is targeting Hezbollah in Lebanon as Iran called for an end to attacks on the country. A total of 3,666 people have been killed and 11,321 has been injured since the start of the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. Still on the foreign scene. Police in Kenya have fired tear gas to break up a protest in the central town of Nanyuki against the construction of an Ebola quarantine center for U.S. citizens. Small group of demonstrators who were waving Kenya flags, carrying placards, and holding a coffin with the word Ebola written on the side were demanding the plan be reversed. Last week, 2 people died after being shot as police dispersed similar protests. The U.S. plan has sparked public concern about cross-border infection risk and the lack of transparency from the government about the treatment center. President William Ruto defended the plan, saying he has received a request from the U.S. to establish the center and the refusal will be inhumane. That ends our foreign news, and up next is our business news.
Diamond FM Business News.
In a business update today, the Senate today passed the Virtual Asset Service Providers Regulation Bill 2026 for second reading, signaling a major step towards establishing a legal framework for cryptocurrency and digital asset operation in Nigeria. Lawmakers said the proposed legislation will protect investors, curb fraud and criminal activities, and unlock the economic potential of the rapidly growing digital asset sector. The bill, sponsored by Deputy Senate President Senator Jibrin Barau, seeks to establish a comprehensive regulatory and supervisory framework for virtual asset, digital asset, and virtual asset service providers (VASPs), while making licensing, transparency, and compliance mandatory for cryptocurrency exchanges operating in the country. Leading debate on the bill, Senator Tari Mungono, who presented it on behalf of Barau, noted that Nigeria has remained behind several African countries in regulating the digital finance ecosystem, despite recording one of the highest rates of cryptocurrency adoption on the continent. And that ends our business news. Up next is our entertainment news.
Diamond FM Entertainment News.
In our entertainment update today, singer Peter Okoye, popularly known as Mr. P, has responded to a social media user who urged him to retire from music because of his age. He described critics as hypocrites for celebrating older artists like Usher, Beyonce, and Chris Brown while calling for his exit despite being younger. Mr. P said he is one artist who sings, dances, performs at a high level, plays multiple instruments, and holds a music certificate. He added that his solo career is one of the best things that's ever happened in his life. The singer also disclosed that he recently signed a 5-year multi-million-dollar deal with an international distribution company covering 3 albums. That ends our entertainment news, and up next is our sport news.
Diamond FM Sports News.
And from the exciting world of sport today, Award-winning Somali referee Umar Abdulkadir Atena has broken his silence after being ruled out of officiating the FIFA World Cup 2026 following his denial of entry into the United States. FIFA confirmed on Monday that Atena will no longer participate in the tournament after U.S. immigration authorities refused him entry upon his arrival at the Miami International Airport on Saturday. The incident comes amid ongoing immigration restrictions affecting several countries, including Somalia, which remains on a travel ban list introduced by the administration of the U.S. President Donald Trump as part of broader immigration measures. Despite the circumstances, Atena said he's in a positive mood, even as he focuses on the next challenges in his refereeing career. He thanked the football family for the messages and wished his colleagues all the best success during the World Cup. Still from the exciting world of sport, Super Falcons captain Rasheedat Ajibade has turned attention to the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON in Morocco following Nigeria's successful international friendly engagements against Senegal. The 10-time African champions sent a strong message to their potential rivals ahead of the continental tournament after recording back-to-back victories over Senegal. The Super Falcons secured a 2-1 win in the first encounter before completing the double with a commanding 3-0 triumph in Ikenne. Reflecting on the team's performances, Ajibade expressed pride in leading the Super Falcons and praised the commitment shown by his teammate throughout the international window. And that's it from the exciting world of sport. With that, we've come to the end of news across the world. But before we go, here's a recap of the major highlights. President Tinubu inaugurates EFCC office in Ekiti. Senate to consider second term for president governors after 2027 polls. House of Representatives summoned service chiefs, finance minister, others over insecurity. And on the foreign scene, Israeli airstrike hits Lebanese city of Tyre. In business news, Senate passes crypto regulation bill. In entertainment news, singer Peter Okoye slams fan urging his retirement over age. And from the world of sports, top African referee Umar Atena speaks out after FIFA World Cup. For today in history. Did you know that on this day in 2015, the 8th National Assembly was inaugurated following the reading of the proclamation letter of Muhammadu Buhari, the former president of Nigeria? Again, for today in history, did you know that on this day in 2015, the 8th National Assembly was inaugurated following the reading of the proclamation letter of Muhammadu Buhari, the former president of Nigeria? Now you know. For news coverage or information about happenings around you, kindly contact the Diamond FM newsroom number on 091 60 62 7526. One more time, 091 60 62 7526. The news across the world was edited by Abiodun Akinwumi, and my name is Omonike Babatunde. Thank you for listening to your Shining Supreme station, and please stand by for the news in Yoruba language. Good evening.
For up-to-date news reported across the globe, be rest assured you're on the right radio dial. Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin, your shining supreme station.